I think the first partner who reached out to us was Microsoft.
One is just the ethos of Microsoft, right? We are a very partner-first company.
Yeah.
If you want to create LLMs or if you want to train, inference, deploy, go to production scale, we have the entire, tool chain AI studio available for developers. The world is moving to a generalist more than a specialist with everything that's happening in the AI world. When leaders like yourself build a AI-first company, that's when the real magic of the AI potential gets unlocked.
Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of Atomic Conversation. I'm very excited to have Sangeeta Bavi with me. She's Executive Director of Digital Natives Program at Microsoft. Sangeeta, welcome to Atomic Conversation.
Thank you, Vijay.
I have looked at your profile. So you started as an engineer, then got into product, worked with startups, now running this Digital Natives Program. Can you talk a little bit about yourself? What got you into tech?
So one is, I think tech happened by accident, right? Like growing up, you either become an engineer or a doctor. I chose to become an engineer. But since then, the journey has been fascinating. Developer, product manager in business, now helping startups. Fascinating journey, more so in terms of the learning from, entrepreneurs like you. Exciting.
Oh, that's amazing. So today Microsoft is like a key partner for almost like every business and also every startup building, right? So one of the things I keep telling is when I was building a last company, Microsoft team probably met me, after a few years of me starting the company. And this time, I think the first partner who reached out to us was Microsoft, right? So what is this Digital Natives program about and how do you guys help startups?
So we have a program called Founders Hub. One is just the ethos of Microsoft, right? We are a very partner-first company.
Yeah.
If you see, even across some of our large enterprise businesses, partner focus and partner centricity has always been sort of the backbone of how Microsoft operates. We have a program called Founders Hub, which helps early stage and growth stage startups across entire sort of journey of theirs, which includes how to use the latest and most innovative technology across the entire Microsoft portfolio. We provide mentoring. We even support some of the early stage startups in terms of introducing them to our VC networks.
Yeah.
And last but not the least, which is the most important thing, is the go-to-market, right? How does Microsoft activate the entire sales machinery to help startups like yours just go to market and enter new geographies on the backbone of Microsoft sales machinery?
Yeah, I mean, like we have been a big beneficiary of Founders Hub, I would say. In March 2023, when the whole SVB crisis happened, I think it's not easy for, like India, you cannot open bank accounts very quickly.
Yeah.
But since I think Founders Hub had a tie-up with both Brex and Mercury, we got like this neo banking accounts very quickly. So that was like a really, really useful thing, that during that moment of crisis, even for us.
Yeah.
So now we are in this age of AI, right? And I think we wake up saying AI, and we probably go to sleep with saying AI. What excites you most about this AI, both as head of this digital natives at Microsoft, and also as a end user of some of these AI solutions?
So one is, I think all of us, that there has been like a for lack of better word, fatigue of AI news, right? Like every day we are hearing about the innovations happening in AI. But just in terms of what's fascinating is, see, tech has always been a cost line for all businesses.
Yeah.
It's been an enabler. This is the first time where AI is able to contribute to the top line, right? Just from changing business models of various industries, AI can be absolutely disruptive. That is one. Second is, just in terms of how it has become a level playing field for everyone. You don't have to know how to code. You don't basically need to know a certain language. Like AI is just making it a level playing field. And third, and the most important thing is productivity. Like imagine a lawyer is becoming more productive because he or she has a co-pilot.
Right.
Or information and knowledge workers like you and me are basically able to carve out more time from
Yeah.
your day because you have these amazing co-pilot productivity tools. So And all of this, I feel, Vijay, we've just scratched the surface, right?
Yeah.
We haven't even discovered basically the power of what else can happen through AI. So exciting times, but also very fast-paced, changing times.
So, I mean, so true, right? One of the thing I keep telling my team that we are building AI first product, but we also need to build AI first company because unless we build company with productivity level at every function, not just in our technology or the code that you're writing, but in our go-to-market, in our marketing, in our sales, in our support, and in our outreach. If we can apply, I think we will actually build a new age company, not just a new age product.
No, it's amazing that you're thinking like that. It's almost like you're thinking of AI as a boardroom to a keyboard relay, right? Like, and these are the, this is what, from our experience and vantage point, what we have seen, which is that when companies and leaders like yourself think about it as an end-to-end thing of saying that how do we build a AI first company, that's when the real sort of magic of the AI potential gets unlocked, right? So what are you doing? What are some of the 2 or 3 key changes that you're bringing about in Atomic Work to make it a AI first company and not just a AI first product?
So, like every startup, so we started this company in September 2022. I think in December, ChatGPT and happened. So we basically said, hey, this almost feels magical, even though we know, we're all engineers, we know, what's the technology behind this. But we basically felt there is a way for us to use this technology in our product, quite a bit. Apart from that, as a company also, we can actually adopt. So the first thing I did was ask entire my engineering team to look at using, GitHub Copilot, right? There was usual skepticism, basically saying, hi, it's good, I tried previously. I was like, no, everybody has to move. And I think after 30 days or so, my CTO came back and said, okay, now we bought licenses, we moved every engineer to Copilot. So one of the things first I ask when anyone comes to me saying, hey, we need more bandwidth, or we are basically slipping in delivery of a specific thing, the first thing I say is there a solution or a software that we can use to essentially save time and make our folks productive, right? The next area we basically looked at is marketing. Right? As a startup, you need to create like a lot of content, around the problem area, solution area, product area, how to's, that's the second area that we have applied. The third area we basically said is, hey, we are reaching out. So our target segment is like companies with 1,000 employees to 10,000 employees. So there are around 20,000 businesses. We basically said, how can we better understand signals from various data sources, and so that we can actually do a very personalized outreach to these people. That's a third area where we said, hey, let's go, actually apply. The fourth area is like every time we come up with anything, like when we want to do a product spec, initially I used to annoy my product managers because they'll say it will take like whatever 2 weeks to come up with a spec. Then I'll go write a prompt and say, here is a spec. They're like, hey, this is good, but there is like a lot of detailing, right? So I think eventually now everybody almost earlier I used to reach out to my marketing team and say, proofread this passage for me. Make sure it's right. But now I kind of like don't do it, right? So I think it empowered me at an individual level. It empowered me. I think it made at a team's level, it made us very productive. Obviously, like every technology, there are areas where things can get further better, but I think we are super excited and super fortunate to be building in this age of AI, because I also believe as a founder, as a leader, if we don't use it, then even if we want to use AI in our products, I think it's very hard for us to truly deliver value. When we use in our workflows, whether we are in technology or marketing or business or sales, as we use like a lot of different tools, and I think we learn, where it is able to unlock value, where it is able to accelerate things, where it is able to do a really good job. So then we can take some of those learnings and also improve or iterate on our product roadmap. Right. So I think it's been a great journey. Like you said, there is obviously AI fatigue, a bit of AI fatigue. But with every technology, I think in a short run, we overestimate what it can do, but in a long run, we truly underestimate, right? So I believe we are just scratching the surface with AI. I don't know if you have another point of view on
Exactly that. And just, it's fantastic to hear how you are literally like using AI in the right way, right? Because there are also these inhibitions of saying that, oh, because the productivity increases, be it of developers, employees, copyrights, marketeers, whoever, right? And there is this sort of fear and inhibition in certain people to say that it is do more with less, so what will happen to my job? What you explained is exactly how people should be looking at AI, that how does it truly complement? Will AI do away with humans? The answer is no. But
No.
how do you literally use AI to make yourself better, smarter, and create more time for yourself, right? That's essentially what it's going to do for all of us.
Absolutely. I think even at a company, we basically say, hey, we help our customers operate better and scale faster. I think AI can do that even at an individual level. I mean, it's one of the, so I've been in like tech for like 20 plus years now. I think I've seen a couple of waves. I think this is probably the technology that I almost felt magical, right? When I was using MS Paint, those days to trying to, create things, how it used to make me feel like so creative. Because you can go back and change, right? You can erase. Like when you do it on paper and stuff, you just could not go back and erase. So you always feel like, okay, I wasted. I could not explore different variations. So like in 97, 98, when I first time played around with MS Paint, I almost felt like, oh, it empowers me to like try multiple things. Now with AI also, I feel the same. You can actually prototype faster, experiment faster, run campaigns faster. We also analyze, one of the thing, even my design team sometimes feels, how did you come up with this idea? I basically say, it's not my idea, it's AI's. So you take a concept, you say, suggest some variations, right? I think it just enhances our ability to explore polygon kind of a skills. Earlier, otherwise, like, you could not go understand things in domains where you didn't have a lot of depth, but I think we can use this tool as a co-pilot to help us get better. So yeah, I'm super excited, about that. So Azure, OpenAI, and every week there is a launch of new model, new versions, people beating benchmarks, and whatnot. Personally, from your perspective, like how do you see things evolving on this AI as a technology front? And two is startups and founders who are building for whether they're in a consumer space or a business space. What is your advice based, because you work with like so many startups? I'm sure you would have seen the good, great patterns of companies using this. So what's your personal view on how do you see this technology evolving? And two, what's your advice for founders and startups who just started up recently or starting up now on how to build or innovate in their use case using this technology?
One is, I really don't, I'm not the subject matter expert to even predict what AI can do, but it's mind-boggling in the sense of, like, think about it, right? Internet's usage hitting 100 million users took what, 16, 17 years? Mobile phones, 7 years, and ChatGPT 3.5 months. It's just amazing in terms of when you have the right technology to solve the right problem. Adoption is not a problem. Like we always worry about, give software in the hands of people and then we worry about how the adoption happens. If you're able to solve the right problem with the software or with the technology, adoption happens at an incredible rate. And we are seeing that across, be it in healthcare, education, defense. There is a bunch of interesting Gen AI, and I'll also call traditional AI, a combination of both along with data. People are basically looking at self-flying helicopters which can, help in, dousing fires. Amazing usages of AI coming all along. I think from my perspective, in terms of what we have seen in the last 1 year, right, like the kind of best practices that some of the early stage and growth stage startups are looking at is one, some of them are still fence sitters because AI is still expensive. When it started to now, in the last sort of 12 months, if you see, the costs have come down literally by 12x. So we can't really basically decide the adoption based on currently what the cogs are. looking at the historical pattern, my advice to everyone is that assume that the costs are going to drop. It's no longer Moore's law, which is applicable in AI, it's the scaling laws, right? The doubling of compute used to happen in years. Now, basically, it happens in months.
Yeah.
So, one is the cost economics and all will play out. Figure what business use cases and how does it impact either your top line or bottom line.
Yeah.
One clear sort of articulation is your business strategy. Second is your AI strategy. Just AI alone is not going to help. So how are you combining AI along with data to make like the use cases relevant, be it in terms of lead generation or enhancing the customer journey or in post sales, right? Like figure what is the thing and then go deep. Don't look at just doing one or two use cases. And then the third and the most important aspect, Vijay, is the culture, because the rate at which innovation is happening is so fast. How are leaders and organizations looking at upskilling the talent and keeping it very relevant, right? Because one of the things also what happens in startups is, especially not just B2B, but across the spectrum, in the rush of going to market faster, sometimes aspects like responsible AI, ethical AI are at times not really considered, right? And today, I think developers have the most responsible job, because like they say, right, with power comes responsibility, because if you don't develop the right sort of content safety framework as you develop the AI solutions, it can become very, very counterproductive and also have like a negative branding for the organization. So I think these are the three sort of aspects that every startup and every developer, product manager, leader should basically take into consideration. And the third and the most important thing is that, see, we went from a world of, being like India, right?
Yeah.
Being from services nation to we wanted to product nation, then we wanted to SaaSify everything, and we are still doing that.
Yeah.
But how quickly can we AIification everything that we do is going to be super important. Some folks still are a little hesitant in terms of, can AI really help me achieve my business in terms of what I want to do? That's something that, there is a little bit of inertia, which I still see in some of the folks, but there is a ton of innovation and interesting things happening. And then your question was in terms of what Microsoft is doing in this space, right? See, Microsoft, if you see some of the work that we are doing, of course, we have a very large and strategic partnership with OpenAI, but we also work with a bunch of other models that are available, be it the Mistral. So we have the largest catalog of models and LLMs that anybody can come and work with. And Microsoft has always been a developer-friendly company. So if you see some of the tools that we have for building AI solutions, be it in terms of if you want to create LLMs or if you want to train, inference, deploy, go to production scale, we have the entire tool chain AI Studio available for developers. Second thing is that sometimes looking at what AI, there are also, if AI is not implemented in the right way, there can also be negative implications of AI. So we actually have been looking at building responsible AI framework since 2016. So how do you build the most secure and the most responsible AI framework? There are readily available tools and templates from Microsoft. That's the second thing. And the third and the most important thing is that we are actually building the AI operating system. If you see now in our data centers, we are building cooling solutions. We have AI accelerators. We are building the entire data center to have AI purpose built, like solutions which can basically run AI workloads, both so that it is performance efficient as well as cost efficient, right? Then you have the middle layer where we have these orchestration layers where multiple LLMs can be used, small language models can be used, they can be used on public cloud or on the edge. And then on top of that, you have the Copilot stack, which where you can build applications on top of the framework. So that's the work that basically Microsoft is doing on the tech stack.
Awesome. So if I can summarize, you're basically saying as a founder, do first principles thinking, focus on the problem and use case, and then see what's the best way to apply, this new technology, and use guardrails so that your end users feel it's a responsible AI in their use case. And if you're building a startup, then obviously you should build with Microsoft, because you have the best coverage of models in terms of across different providers like OpenAI, Cohere, Mistral, Llama, and whatnot. And you also make it easy for folks to build and test both in terms of models from scratch, and also like tuning and optimizing models and deploy them in production, right? Awesome. So we have seen like a lot of different use cases. You touched upon some of the AI use cases, right? And so there are internal use cases. I call it as internal AI. There is external AI, right? As a company, you should think about, okay, what are the internal use cases where I can deploy AI or AI solutions? What are the external use cases where I can deploy, right? External means mostly your customers, your partner facing, and internal basically means your employees and your business workflows kind of facing, right? And how do you see, based on your interaction, with companies, the technology, are companies starting most with external use cases, internal use cases, or do you see any pattern, or it just depends from business to business?
It depends on business to business. So one thing is that a lot of businesses, both in the enterprise space as well as in the startups or digital native space, right? Folks who had a AI strategy even before Gen AI happened, I think they are the ones who are thinking through both internal and external. Across the board, like literally thinking of becoming a AI first company and not just a AI first product. Very interesting, and some of them who have just started the journey, I would put it actually in three cohorts, right? One, who are also AI first builders. So they are also coming up with solutions which are not just where you are consuming AI, but there are enterprises and startups who are coming up with solutions which can help other companies use it, be it in the entire dev tool chain. India is known to be a base and hub for developers, right? So the best DevOps tools are basically coming out of India, and a lot of companies are now thinking of what are the gaps today that exist in creating the entire AI DevOps, and they're coming up with solutions. Security in the entire AI DevOps tool chain is something that folks are coming. So a lot of relevant solutions are being built in the AI space. Look at Sarvam, what they're doing, right? Like indic LLMs to serve markets like India. So that's one sort of cohort that we are seeing who are at a very advanced, they are the technology leaders where AI adoption is concerned. The second sort of cohort is where they are looking at how does AI actually contribute to their P&L, either cost line or top line, but significant sort of, AIification of a particular workflow or solution. So one of the e-commerce companies that we work with very closely, they have adopted Azure OpenAI to basically automate their entire contact center. And they now, we have some early sort of metrics results. They have seen roughly about 47% increase in their productivity. They don't need to augment during festival season. They typically used to augment their contact center through subcontracting staff. They don't need to do that because the productivity of their existing agents has gone up, and hence that has contributed to better sort of efficient costs for them. And also the customer satisfaction has gone up because 95% of their support tickets are addressed by chatbots. So 95% is like a very, very big number, right? So a second sort of cohort where we are seeing this get adopted is where people are going super deep in one problem statement and automating the entire sort of flow. Third is where people are experimenting, right? People are trying out different sort of solutions for one, their internal workflows. There is an organization which has automated their entire HR queries. So they have created a bot for all the HR queries, and they have, because a lot of the typical questions that are related to leave policy, vacation, sabbatical, all of these can be answered by the chatbot. So this organization has done that, and in fact, Microsoft also has done that. Microsoft has pretty much like tried to infuse AI in all the internal applications. So this is, I would say, these are sort of the three broad, categories and cohorts of users who are using AI.
Amazing. So you touched upon it. So we are like a nation of developers, right, from a India perspective. So if you're a developer or if you're somebody in college coming out, what advice do you have for them, right? Because on one side, this narrative that AI will write code, then the jobs will go off, and the other side, hey, AI will enhance developer productivity and help you actually troubleshoot things faster, build things better, so that you can actually do a lot more things than what was possible. What's your advice for people who are just coming out of college and trying to get into tech or non-tech industries in this age of AI?
Yeah. So one is not just for colleges, right? It's relevant for all of us. I don't remember the study, but there was a study done which said that in the tech world, literally every 4 to 5 years, you need to reskill yourself, not even upskill. You need to reskill yourself, right? That's no longer valid. It's not 4 to 5 years. I think that that cycle has come down drastically. So one is, as business leaders, as tech leaders, are all of us basically even aware of what AI is? One technology. Tomorrow there could be something radically sort of different which comes, right? So how are we basically literally keeping pace with the change that is happening around us? That's one. I think for developers and people coming out of colleges, just just having the breadth of knowledge, because now the world is moving to a generalist more than a specialist with everything that's happening in the AI world, right? So just being open to exploring ideas and being creative about it is what I think each one of us has to start thinking, especially the new generation which is going to come into the workforce. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's a great advice. I think, become a more journalist, and you have now technology that helps you, explore and get better at things that even if you don't study or you have not programmed, right? So I have one last question for you. So you work with startups, you work with partners, you have worked with customers, right? So we touched about startups and partners briefly. From a customer perspective, like what are the top objections that you typically see when they're trying to deploy this technology? And as a startup, if you're building, right, for that customer segment, what have you seen are the most successful ones, where they're able to take their solutions to customers?
So specifically, if I have to look at the AI solutions, right, I think one of the best, most frictionless sort of adoption of AI in customers has been when there is intent and strategy, literally, like I said, from boardroom to keyboard, that entire relay is seamless. Which means that right from the top leaders, and it doesn't matter whether you're a business leader or a tech leader or HR, some of the organizations just have it thought through so well. So the cultural element of an organization, of how they're thinking of adoption, becomes very important. In such organizations, then even if it's a very early stage startup which is selling solutions, right, the openness to look at what the solution offers is a lot more. Objections basically come in, Vijay, when there are customers who don't have they don't know references of where a solution has been sort of deployed. If it is a very early stage startup where these solutions are, the customer is exploring solutions, they have these questions. Oh, it's a startup. Will they be able to cater to our requirements and all? This is where Microsoft comes in. We have seen a bunch of cases. In fact, in India, there is a startup, and I think they were in seed stage or somewhere around that journey. They were selling to a very large enterprise IT company in India. And because they were part of the Founders Hub program, at that stage, it was the Microsoft for Startups program. We basically helped them and said, when we went to this IT customer, to the procurement head, I remember the Microsoft account director, he actually validated and said, hey, this startup is basically part of our cohort and our portfolio, and we have done the due diligence from a tech security perspective that everything is fine. And those guys actually, that startup actually got the deal, right? The first win, and it was a double-digit $1 million win, which was just amazing. And then their journey just sort of skyrocketed. So those are some of the things where Microsoft then comes in when there are these hesitation and blockers from customers in terms of adopting new technology.
Great. I mean, Founders Hub has been incredibly helpful. So you can not only build, get support from Founder Hub, but you can also leverage it in your go-to-market. Thank you, Sangeeta, for joining us. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you for having me here, Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you.